Welcome back. You are watching KTN News Desk. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati has suspended CEO Ezra Chiloba yet again as after he was reinstated by the Employment and Labour Relations Court pending the determination of his suit challenging his initial suspension from the Commission. Chebukati says the Commission convened a meeting after the court's ruling and resolved that the CEO be suspended pending the completion of the audit process. Chebukati, in his letter, cites the ongoing vetting of procurement officers as ordered by President Uhuru Kenyatta. The president, in his Madaraka Day speech, said the officers be subjected to polygraph tests, being part of efforts to end corruption in his administration. Right, of course, later on we'll be speaking to former ICK Commissioner Jack Tumwa on the IEBC wars and the circus that seems to be playing out at the Commission, of course, between the commissioners, the chairperson and the executive. We will be trying to analyze this for you later on in the program. President Uhuru Kenyatta has announced that all government officials and their families will undergo a lifestyle audit as he takes the war against corruption a notch higher. While reaffirming his commitment to fighting graft, Uhuru said he and his deputy William Ruto would also undergo the same audit. He made the announcement yesterday during a visit to Mombasa.
Of the actions that we are already taking, tutaanza sasa ile ambayo inaitwa lifestyle audit ya maofisa wote wa serikali. Ndio wewe tunakuona, haya basi, hii nyumba, pesa, hii mshahara ndio hii ulinunua namna gani? Hii ulinunua namna gani? Hii gari ambayo unapeleka na usijaribu kuweka kwa jina ya bibi yako au mtoto yako, tutajua ni yako, ulitoa wapi? You must explain. Na ule wa kwanza kufanywa lifestyle audit ni mimi, kwa sababu mimi ndio mfanyikazi number 1. Si ndio hiyo? Yes. Mimi, alafu tuende kwa huyu, alafu tuende kwa governor, alafu tuende kwa masharia. Kila mtu aseme hii maisha unaishi kwa njia gani? Si ni namna hiyo? Hii pesa unatoa wapi? Na kama huna jibu, kuna mwingine kamiti anakugojea huko na atakupatia jibu yako. Tumekubaliana wenzangu? Lazima tulinde na tuchunge mali ya Wakenya.
All right, and the war on graft also seems to be catching up with those the IEBC, seeing the recent suspension of Ezra Chiloba, the CEO, once again for another 3 months, pending investigations and an audit. And of course, that letter was written by Wafula Chebukati, the chairperson. Let's now speak to former ICK Commissioner Jack Tumwa. He's joining us by way of phone. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us here on KTN News Desk. What do you make of this latest suspension of Ezra Chiloba?
That suspension is, I consider it a domestic matter, which has to be handled by Mr. Chiloba. We are not in a position. Hello?
Go on, I can hear you.
We are not in a position to say why the administration at the IEBC decided to send off Chiloba. It is an internal matter, and I believe that Chiloba, Chebukati and the commissioners are in a position to make a decision whether Chiloba should be suspended or whether this suspension has to be carried out. Take note that we are in a situation where corruption is being taken very, very seriously. I don't expect Chebukati to take it lightly. If there are any suspicion, it has to be investigated sufficiently so that by the time Chiloba comes back, at least the investigation that will have been carried out is clear, and it clears him to come back.
But even as this happens, looking at the operations at the IEBC, the chairperson has time and again asked the National Assembly to expedite efforts to, of course, try and properly constitute the IEBC. What do you think? Do you think this is largely affecting the operations of the IEBC currently?
It is affecting the IEBC, it is affecting the country. It is the responsibility of the executive to expedite the appointment of other commissioners so that IEBC can function. Don't forget that according to the Constitution, all constitutional offices are functional so long as they have 3 commissioners. IEBC has got 3 commissioners. Those who resigned on their own violation. So if it is necessary, and I think it is necessary, it has to move fast, the executive has to move fast and fill the remaining vacant posts so that IEBC can function effectively. I think the IEBC is getting late in terms of the programs that it is supposed to run up to the 2022. There are so many activities that have to be carried up here. But right now, it is a lame duck, and it is to the disadvantage of this country. We like waiting until it is late, and when it is that late, we do things haphazardly. I think this can be avoided, especially so, given the handshake, which has given the country an atmosphere which is acceptable. I think the sun is shining on Kenya, and we have to move fast to implement some of these things that have been lying in abyss.
What are some of these activities that you think will be largely affected by the situation as currently being witnessed at the IEBC?
The most immediate ones are the elections which are pending. You know, the quite a number of MPs have been thrown out. I think in Baringo, where we lost a member of parliament, election has to be carried out. I'm not very sure that the IEBC, as constituted today, would legally carry out elections in those places. It may be possible that after the election, someone may go to court to say that perhaps IEBC was not properly constituted, and the public funds will be therefore wasted for not having an IEBC which is properly constituted. 2, we're having the census next year, and immediately after the census, IEBC will be expected to go around to reconstitute the boundaries. That is a mammoth task that it has to be in a position to be properly prepared. Let alone that, the usual routine things like planning, the procurement, and all these such things, the IEBC has to be in a position to plan ahead. Are we waiting until it is too late for us to get IEBC to work? I think that is a thing that the executive has to take seriously, especially using the shining sun on Kenya as it is now, when things are good, so that we can put the IEBC to move and move fast.
Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us here on KTN News Desk. Ambassador Jack Tumu is a former commissioner at the ECK, just talking to us about the IEBC and the situation that the country finds itself, saying that there is need to expedite efforts to properly constitute the commission, or else a lot of activities that highly engage this commission will suffer. Let's get to some food.